What's going on, everybody? Red Vion here, and today we have the privilege of a returning favorite, Aqua Vengeance, joining us in the community spotlight. What's up, Aqua? How you doing, man?
Hey man, what's up? I can't believe this is the first time we've met. Wow, like
Wow, imagine. Hi, nice to meet you, Aqua. I am Red Vion.
I am Aqua Vengeance. I am here today.
I am here today to have fun. So, of course, assuming people have not seen these videos before, this is pretty much where I invite some of the content creators on, chill, vibe, have some fun, and, let the people learn more about these content creators. With all it's dope. And sidebar, Aqua and Vengeance and I have played GBO2 together a nice amount of time, so you may have seen them in collaboration videos all around the channel. Make sure you give them some love, as well as Aqua Vengeance's channel some love. We have all that stuff in the description, so we're gonna just jump into it and have some fun. You ready?
Please love me.
All right, cool deal. So, Aqua, you already know the cadence of this as we jump in and ask questions. So, first question out the gate: what got you into the Gundam series as a whole?
So, it's my answer two questions actually. Basically, I'm very new to the Gundam series. Essentially, basically, when I started at GBO2 is when I started getting into Gundam as a whole. But beforehand, actually, way back then, Gundam was actually affiliated with some of my earlier memories. Back then, G Gundam was on Toonami, and I vaguely remember a scene involving a mummy robot, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. This... it comes back, where it's like, oh, this is cool looking, and it kind of helped me with my love of like giant robots and giant monsters. I didn't realize at the time that was G Gundam. I was just like, oh, cool mummy robot, right? And I actually had these G Gundam SD toys. I actually found my Neros Gundam. I can send you a picture of it later. You can probably put this in here or whatever, but you can tell it's pretty old. It's all bent out of shape and missing arms and all that. But yeah, and I haven't really thought about Gundam for a long while, or seen anything related to it, right? Because obviously it didn't have too much of a pull in the West, at least where my area is. And I was more into, as I said, I got more into the giant monster, giant robot stuff. I was really big into Godzilla, and I got really into Star Wars at one point.
Nice.
But what helped me kind of lean more into Gundam was I had a friend in high school, and still my friend right now. His name's Pretty Swift. I stream with him every now and then. He liked to talk about, robot stuff, like mecha stuff. He really liked Gundam, and the way he talked about it, he'd hype it up. And there's a small, little-known YouTube channel that was posting gameplay for some weird game called Gundam Battle Operation. Gundam Battle Operation 2. His name was Flailthroughs. Don't know if you heard of the guy, but
most certainly, of course.
Yeah, he was posting some gameplay, and I
Flail.
wanted to go check it out. I was watching it, and I was like, oh, this is a pretty cool game. And around that time, I believe, 2017, somewhere around that area, Star Wars was, in my opinion, it was not doing very well. Kind of starting to hate it. Didn't like the choices they were making. Did not like Last Jedi. But to make the long story short, I just moved on, and starting to get into Gundam, where I was like, okay, I'm starting to watch a little bit more videos from Flailthroughs, and then something along the lines of, hey, there's going to be an English release of this, and I was super excited. And yeah, around that time, I started getting a little bit more into Ultraman, and I kind of let the Gundam hype die down, because it's going to be a few months till it gets released, right?
Right.
I was watching some Ultraman stuff, and I missed the release date for an English release. So I had to, I came in late, and I believe the week I came in, it was the Uncannon Heavy Type D that was released. And obviously I just had no idea what was going on. But yeah, that's what got me into Gundam. Was I had friends that had a friend that talked about it a lot, and because of Flailthroughs introducing the gameplay, right? So it was just me getting into Gundam and GBO2 at the same time. And again, like I said, I'm not like deep into Gundam yet. So far, I've only watched 3 series, and I'm kind of digging a rabbit hole for myself when it comes to just mecha series in general. I don't know when I'm going to move on to another Gundam series, but I'll mention that later on. The other stuff I'm getting into, but yeah, I've watched the original Mobile Suit Gundam. I've watched Mobile Suit Gundam Igloo, and I've also watched G Gundam. And weird 3 to start off with, because you know the G Gundam by itself was already just way different from Gundam.
Right.
And then you add in Igloo, which gives you the bad guys perspective, or quote unquote bad guys, depending on who you ask, of what's going on for Zeon, while you know Mobile Suit Gundam is Mobile Suit Gundam. But yeah.
That was actually really cool, and it's funny because there's been times where people will say they've gotten into the game, seeing, you know, people on YouTube or other content creators, and I love hearing that because it brings stuff full circle, as you're now one of the people who are also providing this kind of content for the people who play the game. So that's actually really, really cool. So yeah, because my next question was what got you into Gundam Evolution 2, but it's safe to say that little old channel Flail-Throughs kind of hooked you up and got
little known. Who knows who he is? You know, nowadays, I heard he's not been around. Like,
I heard he's been around just for a little bit, just a little bit. We love you, Flail, if you're watching this. So, you know, we got you. So that's actually really neat, especially when you said G Gundam and the Mummy Gundam. A lot of people have their, you know, their moments, and some people might have found like a Gundam model kit or watched Toonami. And it's safe to say that Toonami had a large influence on us, if we knew it or not at the time, or at least laying the foundation for what would be massive Gundam lovage or mecha lovage, you know. So, yeah.
It's weird because I had no idea it was Gundam, and years later when I started to watch G Gundam, I went, wait a minute, this looks familiar, right? I believe it's episode 10 is where the Pharaoh Gundam is. And I was just like, wait, hold on, I recognize this scene, you know? It was crazy. It was just like a deja vu. It's funny because I didn't get into Gundam because of that scene. I got into just like general, just giant mecha and giant monster stuff. Like, again, I got way into the Godzilla, so I was like, oh yeah, Mecha Godzilla, yeah, all that good stuff. It's just weird how that ends up, and then it comes full circle. It's like, oh yeah, that's the Mummy Gundam from my memories, dude. You know?
It's like, I remember this. Okay, that's actually really cool. I love hearing stuff like that. All right, so we both played GBO2. We already know what it is. So for the GBO2 players here, I definitely want to ask you straight up, playing GBO2, what is your favorite role? Through the selection of general, raid, or support?
I'm going to go with support because there's a lot of supports I do like playing in this game. There's supports I generally favor towards as well. General's not too far behind because I feel like you do have to have a good kind of knowledge to get into the game. From what I heard, a lot of people like to start off with support because it is a pretty quote-unquote safer role to pick, where you don't have to do much in terms of getting into melee engagements. You don't have to worry about too much kind of skills like power accelerator, all those advanced kind of stuff, right? Especially when you're getting right into the game, you're new. All you know is that you have a beam rifle, you can go shoot stuff, right? So I pick support first. And also because a lot of support suits just look kind of cool, where it's like, oh hey, this is just a Zaku 1, but it's got a big ass beam cannon, right? So I can use that, shoot at people, all that good stuff. I experimented a lot whenever I was playing the game at my early stages, and I was just more oriented towards supports and a little bit of some generals. I feel like supports are just they're valuable, I think, where if obviously generals are going to be your frontline units, and sometimes there's some supports that are their front lines too, but you do need that suit that's kind of hanging in the back to kind of weaken that enemy front line of generals, right? And maybe even counter snipe if possible.
That's it's a good point because shout outs because I'm not gonna lie. I admit I was surprised you said support. I'll say it. That just goes to show that I feel as if the times I've played with you, you've been you're experienced enough. You could play whatever role you need to be.
Yeah, like I think a term that would apply would be like jack of all trades, master of none. At some points, like
fair, yeah, fair. I like that saying though, but I also really like to point out that you mentioned, having the idea of frontline and having someone who can counter snipe, which I mean it's situational, but it definitely can happen. It can definitely change the tide of a match. So, with that being said, when it comes to GBO2 in regards to matches and games and stuff like that. Has there been things that you've seen some GBO2 players that either don't make sense at all, or anything they've done that legit surprises or even impresses you?
Start off with stuff that confuses me is there's been some moments I've had lately where let's say Arctic based, we all know the people like to run around the rocket, right?
Yeah.
There's some situations I've had where we're 1v2ing and somebody's going around the rocket. They're going through the skinny way. There's no room to move side to side. So it's obvious like, okay, I'm gonna chase one way, and then you can probably catch him on the other end. Then our teammate just pushes with us, or like even if it's more than one person with me, they'll start pushing the same direction I am. It's like, hey, there's this thing called flanking, right? Nobody. Especially if it's a suit that has like a shotgun or something that can be really good to counter a suit that's fleeing, that's not taking a route to go to that person. Just that's more forgivable to me because on the moment fly thinking, that can be something that can screw up a lot of game plan, right? But or game plans. That I'm kind of fine with half the time, where it's like, okay, yeah, obviously we just see enemy, we're gonna chase them. And eventually he'll run out of boost anyway, so at least there's something there. But the other one I'm going to say that's going to confuse me a lot is there's been situations where I've been in 2v1s or 2v2s, and then my teammate just straight up dips on me. It's like, what? It's even worse when the enemy is almost dead, or he's halfway there and our teammates are fully health or whatever. There's a situation I recall specifically where I'm playing Arctic Base, and what was I playing? I think I was playing Gabaldi Beta, and I had a Gaza D with me, and there was it was 2v2 against these enemies. The rest of our team was actually finishing up the rest of the enemy team on another side of the map, so they couldn't reach us, right? And we're just gonna sit there, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna duke it out a little bit. The enemy team, they're weaker than us, or these two guys are weaker than us. I'm going to initiate, and then Gaza D can back up with whatever. So I go in, and the Gaza D is transformed and flies away. It's like, whoa, why? And the worst part is, as I was retreating back, because I realized I'm boosting backwards, trying to snag a kill from our team that's finishing off the last enemy over there. It's like you don't need to join in for a 4v1 or 5v1 or whatever. Trying to get the last kill, really, dude, or still a kill. And then the worst part is, since obviously I'm being 2v1 with I'm just getting annihilated really fast, and they managed to score some extra shots on our teammates when they came back around. It's just like, why? We could have sat here, and if we would have stayed a little bit longer to fight these two guys, our team would have came in and we would have finished them off pretty fast.
Yep.
Instead, since you retreated, that gave the enemy team a little bit more ground to approach our base, and then the rest of the enemy team will spawn in, and that match we nearly lost. It's like, wow.
Jeez.
It gave them that ground. People don't realize that little interactions like that can shape a match,
Yeah, well said. Because anytime, it's like judging, not judging, but you have to, you have like 3-4 people fighting 1 to 2 people. I was like, we don't need that many people, because if the other enemies aren't on the map yet, they're about to spawn, and if you guys are all focused on someone else, they're going to spawn and just take advantage of you guys focusing down someone else. And me, I definitely stress the idea of playing as a team and doing team tactics. I've also been in that situation. May it be me not playing a support or playing a support where I'm fighting someone and they have a homie run up and I'm like, hey yo, help, or I have a homie and they like topple them and then they'll run away, and that has happened to me, and I'm like bruh, like, hello. Okay.
It's even worse. Like, I've had moments where I'm a support, the raid's chasing me, and then the general comes in, maybe does a downswing and he goes, all right, you're safe, you can thank me later. Then he runs away. The raid, even though the raid is like nearly dead, that's enough for raid to still kill you as a support. So he immediately stuns me and just kills me. It's like, well, thanks, general.
Oh my gosh, preach it. I hate that so much. I'm like, look, you're here, just give me 15 more seconds of your time and help me kill this dude so I can get back to supporting you guys from in 550 to 700 to 800 meters away. That's what you really should want. You know what I'm saying? Like, just let me back you up. Just have my back. But no, I definitely. Yeah. Oh man,
just help your teammates every now and then. Like,
hashtag help your teammates. So
especially if it's a support and there's a raid.
So what about things that impress you? Has anybody, or have you seen anything that was like, that's pretty clever, pretty neat?
Honestly, I just really like when we have really solid like teamwork, and I can competently know like what my team is thinking, that they can be really helpful in. Like, I had a match in Supply Base, or Supply Depot, my bad. I was playing a Zoc, and I was playing with Taru or one of my other friends. And obviously, I'm a little bit of a higher rating. We were playing against S- players, and we had a player on our team who was using a Zuda F, and Supply Depot is really good for that. And he was actually landing his shots off on the raid every time he came near me, and he would actually follow up with either melee, or if he knows that I'm gonna hit him with my melee, he would just pop the shots off with a machine gun. Actually, I think we had a raid that match where he knows he has higher melee priority than me. It's really smart because he would see me going for the downswing, so it's like, okay, I can melee through my teammate while he's doing his downswing. That's the kind of thing where I don't mind myself getting downswung if I know the teammate's coming in to finish off the kill. And he times it right to where I get the hit, and then he gets his hit in too. It also impresses me when people do that with counters as well, where if you get a counter, somebody just is immediately, they know the timing to hit somebody after a counter, like they're falling backwards, they'll get for their melee, and that way you don't get hit either, only the enemy gets hit. Just general teammate or team gameplay like that, I know it sounds kind of like, well, it's not that impressive.
No, it is impressive.
It's really good.
It is impressive. Team synergy is very important. We played a match where you were running I was running the Phoenix. I have not used that suit in a hot minute, and I felt like our team was just on point. And that match, you also you kept an eye out for the support. And I remember I also did the thing with the counter. I saw you counter someone, and I ran up and I hit them, and I think I got the kill from it. But I was just like, let's just put in work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really feel as if when you have someone and it's like an unspoken team synergy, not only are you more likely to win, you feel a lot more comfortable and happy with your teammates, because there were times when you mentioned, oh, I'm going to help the support because this raid's flying around, and you would capitalize off of that. You know what I'm saying? And like, you didn't communicate in game to this person, but if they ever watch the video, they'll understand that you were aware of not only yourself but the enemy as well as your teammate, and that goes a long way. I feel as if that is something not a lot of players do actively. They just go in and do it, versus different team setups. I like to do setups with teams, and such as I prefer certain locations on the map to be, the battle area. Like, for example, if I'm playing a support that snipes, I would prefer my team to kind of bait or have all the fights on a certain side of the map so I have a clear shot. You know what I'm saying? There's stuff like that I take into account when hiding behind stuff, as well as chasing or defending people. And yeah, that's really good. Like, imagine being impressed by common sense. You know what I'm saying? That isn't too common. But at the end of the day, I get what you're saying, and I am also very impressed when people have that like sixth sense of awareness, so to speak.
Yep.
Man.
And when they have a lot of knowledge as well, and they apply that knowledge, like if they know the suit they're fighting, it has a certain weakness, they can exploit that with just their weaponry. Like if you have a suit with multiple stuns, you're fighting a suit that doesn't have a dodge roll. Well, easy enough, you just stun lock it.
Yeah.
You got teammates nearby, you can set up an even bigger stun lock with it. Get that guy out of there real fast.
And
simple things like that carry a match.
Yep. When you play with someone who knows how to do the stun chains with melee, like when, say, like I'll go in neutral side swipe, boost back, you come in neutral side swipe, and we just take turns. Easy, baby, easy. But people always have to go for the downswing. Granted, the situation depending, like sometimes you don't have to go for the downswing, bro. Like unless it's a guaranteed kill, just stun somebody and make them mad, demoralize them, and then they're going to be tilted, and it's going to cause a throw of the game count. As bad as it sounds, that's a mental tactic, but hey, it happens. But no. So speaking of all this, I want to ask you, what is your favorite suit in GBO2?
Whenever I was first starting out, I really liked the E3DS, which is funny. As I mentioned, I like playing supports and all that, but the E3DS just had the shotgun. As a new player, I was like, I could just stun everybody, right? Mm-hmm. As I started playing more of the game, I started making my YouTube channel, I really liked the looks of the amphibious suits. For a while, I really enjoyed the Jawagu and the Zoc, and I still think in suits that I like to play, they're still up there. Mm-hmm. But let's say after all these years and playing damn near all the suits in the game, I think I'd have to go with the Zusa, the support at 500. Mm-hmm. To me, the Zusa just has so much versatility when it comes to either combos or supporting your team. Mm-hmm. If you're fighting doesn't matter if you're fighting a general or a raid, this thing can end up bullying somebody if they're not careful, right? If they just look at you and go, oh, it's just a support without a dodge roll, I'm just gonna go walk up and melee it. There's been a lot of moments, even whenever there's been really strong raids in the past, like the Night Seeker Space type or the Sturm Gallus, where they'll charge directly towards me, and they don't realize that I have the AoE missiles. If you guys ever play the Zusa, those are little small explosions that appear whenever you shoot the missiles. I think other suits have that now, like the Gaza E, but the AoE missiles or the Zusa have a really high stun accumulation, almost instantaneously. Like you can pretty much use those as an instant stun. They'll charge towards me, I'll just use that, they'll get stunned, and I can follow up with whatever I want for extra damage, like the beam rifle, or if they don't have a dodge roll, I can use the fire missiles, or if they charge at me again, well, hey, I have the shotgun in my little pelvis shotgun it has, the scattering mega particle cannon. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's another really good stun accumulation, so you're going to get stunned again, and hey, AoE missiles are back. You can charge directly towards me again? Oh, you are? Well, get stunned again. Like, you know what I mean? Really good for shutting down raids that aren't being careful. They just think that you're another easy target. And again, versatility where you have a bunch of weapons that are really good in different areas. Like, mentioned the AoE missiles. The AoE missiles are also really good at taking out pilots, or they're really good for forcing an option out of somebody. Let's say if a pilot is getting into their suit, like an enemy pilot, and they do the whole get up animation. If you fire the AoE missiles, they have to either immediately dodge roll or get stunned, and of course, like I said, you had combos, so if you get somebody stunned, you can bait them to dodge roll, going for another stun with either the Mega Particle Cannon or the AoE. You get stunned again, go for downswing, go for your missiles afterwards. It does a lot of damage. The Zusa to me is just a very, very competently made suit. The only issue is because it has so many of these weapons, it is a pretty hard suit for newer players to get into, but if you're willing to put into work for it, it's surprisingly really damn good. I've even used the suit at 700 and gotten really good matches with it using the 650 Zusa. It is a work of art, pretty much.
That's really dope because that's a support suit I don't use that often, just because my style of supports at that cost differ. But I like hearing like an analysis of like your reasoning behind the suit, because no, it is a very strong suit. I think it's a cool suit. I don't think it's a suit for me off the gate, but is it a suit I would play? Yeah, sure, but I would probably play something else over it. But that's what I also like about GBO 2. You can have two different people playing the same suit type using different suits, but having such a diverse play style, it's refreshing. It is so refreshing. Yeah. And
it's one of my favorite things about the game.
Yeah, it's so refreshing, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. That's a great answer in regards to the Zissa. You know what I'm saying? Zissa. Yeah. That's really cool. So I have some more GBO 2 questions for you. So I wanted to jump on these. So you actually co-shoutcasted, I guess that's what it said. You shoutcasted with me with a content creator exhibition match featuring some GBO 2 players. So like this was months ago, but now what are your afterthoughts, and would you do something like that again with myself or anyone else?
Well, to answer the second question immediately, yes, I would definitely do it again. For people who aren't aware, I do have these things called spectator streams where I just do that. I just commentate on matches that are happening in a spectator stream. And for the overall, how I felt about it, I thought it was pretty fun. Watching other content creators with their own life experiences and how they play the game, just kind of doing what they know how to do. Fighting each other in different kind of team setups, pretty cool. And of course, like you mentioned, people have really diverse, or there is a really diverse set of players here, where no two players play exactly the same. Let's think about beta, but you can just if you're playing 450, 500, you'll have people that'll have their own suits that are good with. I'm pretty sure we saw. Was it Spider Chief? There was somebody there that played the Gundam at high cost. There was just different kind of suits. Even though there's some suits there that are definitely you see often. Again, like we mentioned, the diverse players. There's some really good players. We had some newer players there, I believe.
Yeah.
So the other MCs, I know we had a few people that come from like Gundam Evolution and all that were very new to the game, but there's still a team competency. Is that a word? Competency there? Yeah. Where they had a really good gameplay style. They all had that. They worked together well. It was just very entertaining to watch. And if you look online, Flail-Throughs and I believe Avenger posted their perspectives of the whole thing. But not only do you get us shoutcasting the match and looking at how cool everything is doing, how everything cool is. Wow, I'm really following my words here. How everything is cool. Everything looks cool. It's all awesome. I'm pretty sure we had some really hype moments there that we went, yo, what the hell, right?
Yeah.
Then if you want to look what happened in between the lines, you can go watch Avenger or Rob's streams, and you get to see how they communicated, how they acted. I'm pretty sure I looked a little bit into Flail-Throughs, and those guys were just having a blast. They were just kind of laughing along the way, just doing what they do. It's just nice to know that, right?
It's therapeutic.
Doing their own thing.
Because people forget you should totally have fun playing video games. At least this one, in my opinion, even though it's PvP. Like, hey, bro, I've been saying for a little bit now, fun first. Like, you have to have fun first. Otherwise, like, what are you doing? what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, without fun
Why are you playing the game?
Yeah, like, yeah, imagine playing a game and having fun at the same time. You know, just
nonsense.
Nonsense, indeed. But no, that's good to hear, because stuff like that in the future definitely will probably pop up again, and I think it'll be really fun. So, that was actually a really good response, dog. I have next question. It's similar to follow up. Well, I have two, so let me backtrack a bit. Someone from the community asked this for GBO2 creators. How do you get up to A+ or S- really quick? At the time, this person was stuck at A-, 3 points away from A. Do you have any advice for them?
First of all, make sure you know what's the. I don't want to say you have to know exactly what the current meta is, but keep an eye out on the suits that you see commonly. If you're at 450, most likely you're going to be running into Jettas, Gym Power 3s. At least have some suits that can kind of handle those suits right. If you're kind of playing one class, I would say make sure to have some other classes to kind of pick. Like, let's say, if you only play supports, right? What do you do if somebody else picks support, or maybe they have a badge on their support, so that's kind of an indicator that they might be really good with that support. Always good to have kind of a second-hand pick, something in the pocket, right? Like, okay, well, at least I can pick something like, I guess, for example, Gabali Beta, right? Like, okay, so if I can't play support, I can always pick this general, or hey, we don't have a raid somehow, so I guess I'll pick this raid. Or if you're really confident, maybe you don't even need a support or a raid, right? But it's always good to at least know what is common at these costs, and that will help you at least learn how to deal with those suits, and because of that, you'll learn how to play against players better, and that'll help you climb up. And for me, there's been some moments where specifically where, because I get a lot of the new suits, I do have some moments where I do get a pretty good amount of wins because I have a new suit and people don't know how to fight it yet. But then conversely, I'll have some really bad matches because I'll have a suit that may not be good. So so it's not my sole defining factor, right? And we mentioned earlier teamwork. That's also a very huge positive. You can have the best suits in the game, but if you don't have any good teamwork, what's the point, right? You're not going to be winning anything. At least, even if your team is not behaving like a team, at least you can behave like a teammate, right? You can at least help out your support, or help out your raid if he's getting jumped by 3 generals, or help just your generals in general, all that good stuff. So be aware of what suits you'll be fighting, and do try to be a good teammate. I know there's people out there that they'll post their gameplay videos, they'll be getting 200k damage and whatnot. It's all impressive, right? They'll have those kind of players, but you do have to have a pretty solid team to help with that, and I want to be honest, I didn't reach S- very quick, so I'm still trying to perfect super high level teammate gameplay, right? S- has been really hard. I actually have reached S- twice. I can't maintain it. I just have to get better at that myself, right? But yeah, again, just know what's going on meta-wise, and have a good set of suits you can pick from for each cost, even if you may not be super amazing with them. Again, like I said, you can be a jack of all trades, master of none kind of guy. At least if you're not going to be the best, you can at least be good enough, right? And then be a good teammate.
Yeah, no, that's well said. And in some cases, try to get 1 or 2 friends to story with. You might run into other stacked people, but if you have someone you can communicate or have watch your back, the likelihood of you winning is higher. And some people farm certain costs. I don't do ranked anymore. I used to do nothing but ranked, but I think after the first 2.5 years, I was like, yeah, whatever, I don't need to do this anymore. Until they decide they want to introduce ranked into requirements. So I'm like, And I'll see how I feel down the road. But right now, bro, like I said earlier, fun first. And everything you've mentioned regarding that is key to getting that rank up, because you have to be very persistent, because some people play this game every single day, hours and hours and hours. And I'm not saying that you have to do that, but I'm just saying be prepared. It can be very competitive at times. So you're getting into there, make sure you know. So that's really interesting. Well, this was another question. Someone wanted to know what got you into doing GBO2 content. Was it like from a love of Gundam anime, figures, or both? Or did you want it to have a successful YouTube channel? Also, if your motivation has changed, what changed it and when did that occur? That's a loaded question, and I'm shocked I remembered it, but I just remembered it because it was a loaded question, essentially.
So, as I said before, I kind of got into GBO2 and Gundam at the same time, so I didn't get into GBO2 because of like the love of Gundam itself. It's the designs. Like I said, a friend was mentioning it looked really cool. Flailthroughs was posting gameplay of it. Got me into wanting to try it out, and I really enjoyed the game. In fact, if you look at my first video, way back then, like 2019, I'm pretty sure the description for it says something along the lines of, do you ever just want to make a video over a game because you enjoy it that much?
Aww.
Something along those lines, yes. Yeah. I enjoy GBO2 that much that I wanted to make videos on it. And I did it in the cheapest way possible. I have a PS4. I just hit the share button after a match, send it off to YouTube, and then I get one of the free editing softwares, and I just put voiceover on it, and there you go. I just post videos that way. Yeah. And and obviously I've been having a lot of these. I get a lot of suits. I get pretty much all the new suits that are coming out, and I do want to share, okay, hey, here's some content for these new suits you guys can look at. You can at least know what the suit can do. I post the initial thoughts videos where I go over the skills of the suit. So it's not only just because I enjoy the game, but also so I can share some information with people that they may not be aware of for like new suits, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing more to that. Just enjoy the game.
Dope. Okay, so as we're getting a little bit further away from GBO2 questions now, if there's something you want to tell every new player coming to GBO2, what would it be?
If you're going to be a very new player, have fun first. Try out the suits you think that look cool. Like for me, just try out whatever. Mold yourself into what you want to do, and just again start off, have fun, don't take it too seriously yet, and then then I guess I'll refer back to what I said before, where if you want to start climbing those ranks and all that, just start behaving more like a teammate. Notice stuff like your radars, all that good stuff. Have some situational awareness. But yeah, first and foremost, have fun. If you're a new player, try to have fun. Find fun where it is. Any kind of way that you can say that, right?
Yeah. Find fun where it is. I like that. That's
yeah, obviously you need to you don't go into a game hating it unless you try to review it or something, right?
Yeah.
You're going into it. Obviously, there's something there that you're attracted to. You want to at least try to find fun and continue playing it.
Yeah. No, that's totes fair. I agree. All right. So, hey, full circle, fun first. Now, a little bit more fun questions and whatnot. These are gonna be more like, favorite this, favorite that. So, who is your favorite Gundam pilot out of any of the Gundam series that you've seen or you've heard or anything like that?
Okay. Favorite Gundam pilot. I think the only 3 series I've watched, I'll probably have to go with either Domon or Master Asia. Just straight up. They're just they're just really entertaining. Like it's hard not to hate them at all. Just really just bombastic, just over the top. I believe in the first episode, Oman's like catching bullets out of assault rifles, like multiple assault rifles, catching the bullets and just dropping them, showing off his power level, right? And when we see Master Asia, he's literally fighting mobile suits by himself. He doesn't even have a mobile suit yet, or at least you're not aware that he has one. He's literally just stomping on these Zaku 2s lookalikes, right? These Death Army dudes, by himself with a freaking what do you call it? A scarf? Not the scarf. You know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
We've all watched that scene if you watch G Gundam.
Man, Master Asia, he was on another level. He was wild, bro. And G Gundam itself is a good choice. Just like you said it way earlier, it's sentimental almost. You know, 'cause a lot of us remember it from a little bit older times. That's pretty funny. All right, so with that being said, if you had to live in one Gundam universe or timeline, which would it be and why?
So I know the first and obvious question people have is, which one am I least likely to die in, right? So I mean, they'll probably, pick Bill Divers, but for me, I think I would pick. I think I'm gonna go with G Gundam.
Yeah.
Again, go with G Gundam.
Okay.
Not only because maybe I won't die, depending on. At the same time, if this is some kind of question where like I can control what I can be, hey man, I'd love to be part of Neo America. I can be the pilot for Neo America. I get to have the most stereotypical, like, since I'm Texan, I'll just be having a cowboy Gundam.
Yes, bro.
Just 6 shooters on the hip, right? Just
you need the shawl or the cowl or whatever it was called. I forgot, but
yeah. I just need my 10-gallon hat to have like a minigun inside of it, like a surprise weapon.
Gotta have a mustache on the Gundam too. You have to.
You gotta have a big burly mustache made out of realistic fur, just because.
The boots. The boots. You should have boots with spurs, and just
boots with spurs, but the spurs are they're like beam spurs, so I can use these weapons too. Like
make
it really just over the top.
I did appreciate G Gundam for that, and I'm not gonna lie, because I really find that world of G Gundam very very interesting. How they have they fight on Earth pretty much, and they have all these colonies who just watch it as entertainment. It was really cool.
What I like about G Gundam is that the designs themselves are very stereotypical, but at the same time, the pilots are not. They're not racist caricatures. Like, example would be like Tequila Gundam. The pilot for Tequila Gundam, he's not a stereotypical Mexican at all. He's got his own little story going on where he's trying to help his his sister, I believe. I don't know since I've seen G Gundam, but he's trying to help her out. And there's nothing racist or stereotypical. It's just that his Gundam is called Tequila Gundam and he wears a sombrero, right? It's a cactus. That's what I like about G Gundam is, even though the suits themselves are just really wacky, the pilots themselves don't necessarily have to be stereotypes.
Right.
They can be their own characters.
Yeah. And then that's funny because a couple of years back, they re-released G Gundam, at least the opening, in like HD, and it was beautiful. I'm like, bro, it might be time for another rewatch, because I have not watched that in years. All right, so you answered the universe. So I'm just going to condense this into one. Out of all the Gundam franchises or universes, what are your favorite 3 Gundam machines? May they be UC or not?
So can I give you 2 separate answers here?
You most certainly can.
Top 3 machine, like top 3 just suits, and then top 3 Gundams.
Yeah,
let's about that. All right, I'm gonna go with the Gundams first. My top 3 Gundams from bottom to top. I'm good for 3rd place. I'm gonna have to put the RX-78. It's just a very iconic design. It's just so good that people just can't help but just think of just that suit, like just the V antenna, the color palette, so classic and iconic. For 2nd place, I think I'm going to put Master Gundam mostly because of Master Asia, but at the same time, Master Gundam does have a pretty sick look. It's just a sick looking suit. It's just awesome, and at the same time, it gets a robot horse, or the Funsaki. Yeah, it's also piloted by a horse. It's just so. it's just cool, you know. It's just cool. It may not make sense half the time. It's just fucking cool, dude. And number one, which is gonna surprise a lot of people that aren't aware, and maybe because of the way I've been talking, my number one favorite is actually the Phantom Gundam from Crossbone.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Phantom is dope.
Now, I haven't read Crossbone. It's something I want to read. But we're just going over, like, favorite designs and machines, right? It had to be the Phantom Gundam. It's so unique compared to other Gundams where, you know, usually it's the blue, white, and red, and yellow, maybe yellow every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
This suit's just green and white. Has some orange little accents in there. It has this really cool form where, you know, the ghost form gets all the little glowy
like the
particle effects coming off of it.
Whatever.
Looks sick as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the best part is it's got a skull in the middle of it, so that's how you know it's badass.
I love the Crossbone designs as well, especially because I play a lot of Gundam versus games, like almost all of them. And I remember when Phantom Gundam came out for Maxi Boost on the console, I'm like, yo, this is dope. This is really dope. And
oh yeah, dude, they're sick.
Yeah.
The designs are sick. Now there's some that are really silly. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I dig a lot of the Crossbone designs. I know that's controversial for some people because again, there's some really oddball Crossbone units. But just Phantom Gundam for me, just top notch. And for my top three, just units overall, not Gundam units, right?
Yeah.
Third place, I'd probably have to put, you know, from bottom to top. Third place would probably be the Zuda.
Yes.
Yeah. The Zuda is just really good. It was hard because it was between the Zaku and the Zuda, and I really like the Zaku, or the Zaku 2, I should say. I like the Zaku 1 as well, but the Zaku 2 and the Zuda. But the Zuda, just to me, it looks very, what's the word for it? It seems like everything on it has a purpose, utilitarian, I think. You know, it has the way its shoulders work and have its shield swivel around. It's got the little piston inside of its shoulder to help its arm reach lower to grab its weapons on its ankles. It's got that big ass sniper rifle. If you want to have a sniper rifle, I had the model kit. It just looks so sick with that big giant sniper rifle. The only issue is that if you overload it, it'll just blow up on you. But
Yeah.
it's a good thing we're not talking about which ones I would pilot because it definitely wouldn't be up there.
Yeah.
Second place though, I'm going to put the Bondoc from Zeta Gundam, and the Bondoc is it's one of those oddball designs. It's really, some people would say it's goofy looking, but I think it can be a little bit intimidating if you put it in the right place. I like the paint scheme. I know some people don't like the hot pink and the yellow and the blue, or purplish, whatever you want to call that color for the skirt and the torso. I just really dig that design. It's just so weird, but at the same time, I just really like it. It's just so weird, and I just like it. I can't really articulate a really I can't write an essay on the Bondoc's design, right? I just dig it, right?
Yeah.
Very number one, design. Number one, I'm going to put the O, and I think that's actually my favorite suit overall in Gundam.
Okay.
And I mentioned that I had a friend who talks about Gundam and all that. We actually played Maxi Boost on the PS3. I'm not sure which Maxi Boost that would be, just one of those Gundam arena fighting games. And obviously I have no idea what Gundam is at that point, or what suit is what from what series. The O was the first suit I selected because I really liked the way it looked. It was like, wow, this suit is it's a chunky boy. Got a single mono eye, right? It's like, okay, it looks cool. It's fine. Rai's got a big old gun, right over 2 arms, 2 legs, and then you play it, and it has 4 arms. You're like, what? What? And it's doing all this crazy stuff where, like, I'm not sure what the controls were back then, but I know in the modern games, like, if you hold back and press triangle for your melee, pulls up all 4 arms and you stab into somebody, and then if you rapidly tap the melee button, a fucking ghost appears behind you. Like, what the hell is that? Like,
bruh. Like,
now I know it's like Shirako, right? Haptimus, but it's just so cool to me. I had to put the O at first place, and of course, whenever it got in GBO2, that was the one suit I wailed for, was the O. Like, I had to wail for the suit. It's so cool. A lot of it, and for me, a lot of my general likes in design are some of the more weirder stuff. Again, second place is Bondoc, which I know that's really off the wall for a lot of people. And my first place for Gundam is the Phantom Gundam. It comes from a series that has a lot of oddball designs. Typically, I just like those kind of designs. And I mentioned earlier that I got really into the amphibious suits when I was first starting the game. They're really weird looking, like the Juwagu, the Zog, the Ag guy, the Aga guy. I just really like these designs. Then at the same time, I can appreciate the ones that people do like a lot more commonly, like the RX-78 or the Zeta Gundam. Double Zeta, I don't like the Double Zeta though, but the Zeus I enjoy. Like it's again, these weirder designs. I can really get into them, right?
So it's funny because I love saying it's funny, but knowing there's so many different suits and mobile suits and armors and everything in the Gundam franchise, I love hearing people's favorite suit selections and their reasoning. Some people like them because they look cool. Some people like because they're different. Some people like underwater stuff. Some people like the design, like how you mentioned, you know, the Zuda with the piston and all that stuff like that. I love hearing that from different people and what, you know, makes their Gundam pop for them. And it's super reassuring to know that no matter how much Gundam we have, we're still super it's diverse and there's a lot of variety of your favorite suits.
That's one of the best parts about Gundam is because it's been going on for so long and different people have worked on the series, a bunch of different designs, and it's just good. You know, you have a bunch of, like you said, diverse amount of suits you can choose from.
So I think this is going to be the final question regarding this, but another community member had asked, if you were tasked with the creation of a perfect Gundam game, what genre would it be and what mechanics are a must-have?
Okay, I had to think about this one because I already had ideas of this. Obviously, perfect is subjective to whoever you ask, but for me,
correct.
First of all, it would be a mix between Buren's Greed, Total War, and Lord of the Rings Shadow of Mordor, which I'll get into here in a second.
Okay.
I know that sounds weird, adding it in there. So I imagine a game. Oh man, you can make a whole ass video on this, to be honest. I imagine a game where you have, you know, obviously you gotta have a standing army first. You can pick Federation or Xeon. They'll give you a huge collection of troops. You can have a space and a Earth army. And you can have you have basic soldiers at first, right? And it's starting at the point where we're starting to get gems. So you'll have gems and Zaku 2s, and then maybe you can add in some tanks and other vehicles for, you know, just for other stuff to have that's not just robots, right? You can have the jets and all that good stuff, the Dodais and whatnot. And I feel like for the gameplay, you know, it worked like a grand strategy game, where, like Buren's Greed or Total War, where you can move these individual, like, you know, I mentioned you have two different armies. If you're on the Earth campaign, you can maybe like separate these companies into squads. You can have these squads move out throughout the map, or maybe make a big just whatever army, whatever. You have these outposts on the map and have control of these. They'll give you resources and whatnot, or maybe help you develop weapons faster. I feel like the meat and potatoes for this game, where whenever you're doing the gameplay, at first, like I said, you'll have these generic soldiers. This is where the Shadow of Mordor aspect comes in. Okay. Where maybe if one of your soldiers, or a group of them, do really well, will start gaining attributes. Like, maybe if one of them is the sole survivor of a battle, maybe he becomes like, he gains attribute of being scarred, or maybe has PTSD, or maybe he'll have slower reaction speed in a battle. Or if they were super great, they got a lot of kills, they might gain more of like an ace kind of role, where they'll have faster reaction speeds than the normal soldier. Maybe they'll gain something like, maybe if they have dodges in that game, they'll gain like an extra dodge roll. Or maybe if you explore a new type weaponry in that game, eventually maybe a new type will show up and he'll be just one of the better units to have. Or you do put him in a unit, he'll do really good in that unit. Basically, every battle can just kind of, every soldier can get affected by every battle you do. And you can have, your basic grunts, and then they'll just get leveled up to where you'll just have actual individuals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just the basic soldier anymore. It'll make you want to care about your soldiers, right? And you'll have a bunch of these characters. And of course, if one dies, it'll be like, oh yeah, this is sad. Well, here's your basic grunt suit again. It makes you want to care about these soldiers. It makes you want to win whatever conflict you're doing. And I feel like there should be a mode in there as well where you could select a few characters. You can give them like main character mode where they won't die unless you want them to. So you can have one guy just keep surviving. Give him plot armor. Obviously, that having one good person isn't going to win a whole war, so he's not going to be overpowered or anything. But maybe make it to where if we're focused on the 1 year war, if somehow the game is really great, you can make DLC. The DLC can maybe lead into Stardust Memory or lead into Zeta Gundam, where maybe you can choose to not be with the Federation anymore. Maybe you can join like a remnant squad, or maybe join the anti-Earth Union, and then you can have more than just 2 factions of fighting each other. You can have like 3 different factions fighting each other, and all just have their own unique troop setup going on, and all have each their own little skills going on. It could be very, very unique opportunity to look at, but unfortunately, it's probably not going to be in this lifetime because Warner Brothers, I believe, has the rights to the Nemesis system for Shadow Mordor. But it's nice to know that, to imagine it, right?
Yeah. But
there's a grand scope here.
The idea of this game is actually very intriguing, and I love hearing people's idea of the perfect game. Because, like you said, it's different off of anyone. Some people might want a strategy game, some people might want like an action, some people might want like an open world. So I really, really appreciate you sharing this information, so I can copy this and share. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. It's fine. But no, that's actually really cool. So hopefully that satisfied your question that was just submitted, my friend from the community. So that was really cool. Aqua, I know we've been talking for a lot. I've enjoyed it. I loved it to death. I just want to first say thank you so much for setting aside the time to play and then come here and be a part of this spotlight. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you and the things you've done for people. So I would like to also ask, where can people find you?
What a dumb question. No. I'm not going to answer anymore. You know what? No. But you can find me on Aqua Vengeance. That's the name of the YouTube channel. You can put @Aqua Vengeance. You can find me on Twitter at @AquaDongo, or you can put in Aqua Vengeance as well. I think that should be really much it. Yeah, I just have a YouTube and a Twitter account. I do have a Discord as well, but it's not just Gundam stuff. There's other stuff there as well. You can find that in the link for it on my channel. And I do stream a couple of times a week. Friday, Sunday, and actually no, I think that might be Friday, Sunday, and sometimes on Wednesday if I have enough time to. And for Fridays, we do switch what we do stream, where I have spectator streams, and every other week I do stream with Pretty Swift, and we play a random game. And that can be a mech game, or it can be some other game. Like 2 weeks ago, we actually played Another Century's Episode 2 on the PlayStation 2. And I believe next week we're going to be streaming Devil May Cry 4. So
yes, bro.
Play a whole bunch of different games.
I love that. Shout outs to playing Another Century's Episode 2, because I think that series is one of the greatest mecha crossovers. Like, that entire series is amazing. Ace 3 was probably hands down my favorite one out of that series, but even Ace R, another episode R, was really good. But oh man, we could just talk about this so much more, but I digress. Aqua, I feel as if we didn't even get enough time to ask all the questions in the world, but I think we got enough. It's only because that, everyone here shows nothing but love for you. So, again, I appreciate it. That's all I have to say, dog, as I hit my mic. You can go ahead and sign us off and do all the stuff, but y'all, I will have everything pertaining to Aqua, his channel, his Twitter, his credit card number, his social security number, all that stuff in the
My
description.
mother's maiden name.
Yeah, his mother's maiden name in the description, so you can totally check him out. Good people, quality content, weekly. So make sure to share some love, and I appreciate you guys. But Aqua, do me a favor, dog, and just take it away.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of Red Wolf Eon's content. Hope you guys enjoyed my content. I hope you guys checked out the other people that Red Wolf Eon has interviewed as well. And yeah, that'll be it for me. I'll see you guys later. Bye.